Welcome and welcome back. We have got ourselves another little reveal today, the battle hat. Let's talk about it. Now, I don't often pat myself on the back, but let me just say, I nailed it on the helm, okay? Best in slot helm is what we're going to be getting here. Now, a couple of you did guess the task, the icon that was on the board. Apparently, that was meant to be for the Awakened Orb. We're going to have to beat all 4 of the Awakened bosses if we want our fancy best in slot hybrid, tribrid, whatever hat. Also counts as a Slayer helm. It is going to be coming from this tile right there to defeat all 4 of the Awakened bosses. Now, it is a hard tile, and if you haven't fought the Awakened Desert Treasure 2 bosses, they can be a little difficult, some of them more difficult than others for sure. Besides the quest itself, I do imagine that we're going to get a free unlock for that quest. They haven't shown that yet anywhere in here for Desert Treasure 2. I'll be a little surprised if they make us go through and do that quest just because it's a fairly long one. So I'm still fully anticipating we're getting that quest unlock somewhere in here. But fighting the bosses, since we're likely going to have to get an Awakened Orb in order to challenge them, I don't think we're going to get to do it for free. We're going to have to farm out the Desert Treasure 2 bosses, get ourselves some orbs so that we can send some tries to unlock this tile. In the last league, personally, I was struggling with the ones I had access to. I think Vardorvis is relatively easy on the Awakened bosses stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on, but especially when you have a lot of really powerful melee weapons like the Kopish right here, you start adding in things like the Soul Spear or the Sunlight Bracers. You've got a pretty solid melee setup. Leviathan is one that I struggled with a lot when I had my mage build. Now, maybe it was because I was using magic, but I mean, I could get it down. It just took a while. So I didn't get to try the other ones. I have a feeling that Awakened Duke Succulus is going to be more or less fairly easy for folks. Duke is debatably the easiest of the 4 bosses anyway. And then you have the Whisper. I don't have a lot of experience with the Whisper. I've heard that one's fairly challenging. Since I haven't fought it much myself, I don't know. So maybe some folks who are a little bit more familiar with the Desert Treasure 2 bosses can speak a little bit to how difficult they're going to be. But I do kind of imagine, this tile, maybe it's not as difficult as a 30-second Inferno. Debatably not as difficult as a 30-minute Inferno either. But I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see if we get if we get something like Absolute Unit. We get some sort of revival something where we sort of get 2 chances, then probably everybody will be able to take these bosses down. It's just, man, some of their mechanics, even with all the power-ups, are still really, really punishing. Now, we will have infinite food with the Corrupted Shark. It'll heal 40 by the time you get these Sunlit Bracers. Maybe you pick this stuff up after you get some of the mega weapons. I don't know. But the nice thing will be when we have this sort of Tribrid helmet, it's just a little bit better than basically everything. You can see the stats here. Lots of attack bonuses, really, really tanky. You've got all of these other kind of aggressive stats in here as well. Plus 10 prayer bonus, that's pretty big. It's also counting as a Slayer helm. Most of the things in the game are going to count because the Slayer Master perk is going to work like it did last year in the league. It was kind of bugged. I don't know if it was intentional, but basically all of the bosses, everything was just counting for Slayer monsters, even if they couldn't be assigned. So even as you go to challenge the Awakened bosses, you may be able to get away with taking a Slayer helm in there and getting a little bit more damage. I certainly hope so. So you can kind of see the appeal of this helmet. And I also more or less expect that we're going to get the Echo DK items somewhere in here. Since they're starting to put all of these Echo items in column or row rewards, my guess is we're probably going to see those jewelry bits somewhere in here. If it's going to be kind of similar like what they did with the Soul Spear, the Soul Bracers, then we may even get it from one tile. And those were already extremely strong because they gave so many positive stats, and then you also get the helm. That's kind of what I'm hoping. We're going to be very, very powerful. As long as it's not on the row with the 30-minute Inferno, then maybe that'll make that particular task easier for folks. But that was the big reveal for today. Now, there is some speculation running around related to these sort of poem tiles. Got this one pulled up from the Discord community. Again, shout out to Mr. Timo putting together all the little images here. So, as we were talking about last time, we've got the rainbow boots going into the stronghold. We've got moonlight moths, something related to potatoes. Apparently, it wasn't the Kovac grog that I was thinking of. Apparently a Steam Forge brew, which is something that you can pick up in Camtorum. So maybe this is something that's behind the Moon's Quest, or at the very least, starting the Moon's Quest. That might make sense for it being kind of like a easier tile because the requirements on that are fairly low for the quest. And then you've got the Golden Feather over here. I know some of you had mentioned this as either like a Holy Grail quest item or maybe the Priest in Peril item. Got our little Egbert over there as well. And they've got some new images from, I mean, most of these are like meme items within the community. I haven't seen any like crazy theories where I've been like, ah, yes, I think that's exactly what this item is, because some of these, you know, it's like a banana brew. Is it going to be infinite brews? Probably not, because we got our stinky corrupted shark over here. Same thing with like the tuna potato ring. Like, it's not going to be infinite food, right? We've already got that. But I do think the two on here that are at least somewhat understandable, you know, we've got like this Taranwin symbol over here. If you recognize it from the League area symbols, little flags with a quest marker. So maybe this is going to be completing the Taranwin quest line for us. I'm still pretty sold on this being something stew related. Stews are made with the potato as well. So buying a stew in the Warriors Guild, is that a medium level task? Is unlocking Taranwin, like, does that make sense? It feels a little disconnected, so I'm not 100% sure. Cooking a stew, cooking a shark feel a little bit too close. I don't know if they would do something like that. Now, this other one over here looks like one of the herb relics that we've had previously. This one here, Friendly Forager, which just kind of let you passively build up herbs as you were doing other gathering things. Now, if that is what this tile is going to reward, it doesn't really change what I'm personally wanting to pick when it comes to some of the XP shares, because while we do want herbs, so it is helpful for just kind of like building up specific herbs if you want them, I still don't think training herb lore in this traditional sense is going to be that worthwhile. There's a lot of stuff in the game where you probably want to have high herb lore, unless maybe this banana brew becomes something like an infinite set of level boosts. You know, so maybe you've got like the super set in here, you've got the range potion in here, maybe a magic potion as well. Kind of in the same way where we have the infinite shark. You know, maybe I could see that, in which case herb lore's not going to be that useful. But maybe if we can't take this into something like chambers, it could be good. Being able to make something like overloads while you're in there. I guess either way, I don't feel like this is going to be a particularly strong relic, but it is going to be something that is nice to have. But considering the other choices on things like the crafting one, I mean, you're probably still going to want to take herb lore and rune crafting, because they're just going to be the most annoying skills to train. As for the other three pieces that are here, I mean, like, who knows, man? Who knows what these things are going to turn into? But that is it for today on the reveals. Bit of a light day. We are really getting close to the game mode, and they have not shown us a lot. Considering how these reveals have been going, I won't even be surprised if we don't get anything more than what we already have here in the leaks. At least, you know, right up until the game mode. They did say that they're planning to reveal the entire board somewhere around 30 minutes before the game mode starts. So we may not get a lot of time to plan. They want to really put the pressure on people who want to push towards that top 3. Now, if you're someone who's not going for that, and you don't mind waiting a little bit, I'll probably do a planning video once I'm up in the morning, so a couple hours after the start. Because at that point, we'll have the whole board, and we can really figure out what it is that we want to do. But yes, as always, while you're waiting for the next reveal, highly recommend clicking the Zayalock series, linked over that way. And if the next reveal is out, I will have that linked down below. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.